Welcome back, my friend. Tell me what you learned. Your arrival is fortuitous, as I have only just returned myself. Were you able to make contact with the rebels? Did you meet with Arana? I sensed some deception, but her illusion is powerful. How else did she hide her nature from me? As for Arana, do you think we can convince her and her rebels to join our cause? You spoke to Rodda. Did he... No matter. If Rodda al-Siran is here, our time grows short. Talk to Kadak. If he deems what you tell him worthy, maybe he'll finally be willing to work with me. Then we can figure out how to deal with the Grey Host. It was only a matter of time before Rodda and I crossed paths again. I just didn't think it would be this soon. Rodda al-Siran and I... we have a complicated history. There was a time when Rodda and I stood united in purpose, to preserve the lives and welfare of vampires. Then, as now, our kin suffered under Molag Bol's curse, and the cruelty of mortal hunters. Not exactly. At least, not all at once. When I first met Rodda, he was immensely proud but utterly consumed by his failures. He tried to find relief in bloodshed and battle, but he was truly lost. I did my best to help him. Yes, his bloodlust gave way to introspection, and introspection led to study. He was already a peerless scholar. All Onse were, but he became fascinated with vampire texts. Eventually, he found a new purpose. Vampiric salvation. To accomplish this, he needed to break Molag Bol's hold over us and stop mortals from hunting us. I counseled peace with mortals, and for a while he agreed. But things changed, and I left the Grey Host. I thought he died with them. I sought to make the world a better place. I thought the Grey Council could help, but when it became the Grey Host... I formed the Raven Watch as an atonement. For things I failed to do, friends I failed to save. From mortals and from themselves.
Sentry boat for sent word. The Grey Host is...
I'll hear no more of this! Go! I want to talk to the outsider. The outsider returns? But are you a true warrior? Or a parasite like these damned leeches? Did you do as Lady Belaine asked? Did you deal with Arana? Tell me you have her head in your back. I've got a pike on the walls waiting to be decorated. That's not what you are asked to look into. Still, it confirms my own suspicions about my own keep witch. Don't look so surprised. I'm not half as stupid as people think, Rover. The outsider returns. Allow! I can count on 3 fingers the number of people I allow in Understone Keep. The rest, they come and go as they please. Let me tell you about the Ember Dance. It's a ceremony we perform here in the Reach. Have you ever heard of it? We grab a handful of hot coals and dance on a bit of straw. Ah, these coals burn, Rover, right to the bone. But if you drop even one, the straw lights, and the flames take all at ball. Do you see? Belaine's a hot coal. so I grip her tight. I'm going to sharpen my sword. And wait. If you and the noble plan to fight the Grey Host, I won't stop you. But remember, Markarth is more than dwarven stones and high walls. It's strength. Make Orana understand that. That's how you can help. Still begging? I should have the tongue ripped from your head and... God damn it, Rover. A favor for a favor, That's the Reach way. All right, tell the noble. Our Carrick will see him whenever he's ready. You think I'm foolish to keep Lady Boleyn close, don't you? It takes a bit of foolishness to rule this place, don't you know? You tell this high elf of yours. I'll see him if he wants. Because I'm the Ard of Markarth, and she refuses to heed my commands. Look, every Reach warrior who dies fighting Orana's private war against the Grey Host makes all of us weaker. We need her strength, now, more than ever. Markarth's the safest place right now. No matter how well Orana and her rebels know the hills. The vampires and the werewolves sniff them out. If she keeps getting my best fighters killed, I swear I'll hang her from the city walls by her own guts. We made a deal. We gather in the city and leave them free to find whatever bit of dwarven nonsense brought them to the Reach in the first place. Of course, Lady Boleyn brokered that peace, so now I suppose our bargain is suspect. The city walls are still our strongest play, Rover. Like headstones, they mark the thousands of enemies who died, trying to breach Markarth's defenses. We'll bide our time and wait for the Grey Host to show their true intentions. Then I'll act. That's a title given to me by outsiders. I use it to frighten the neighbors and keep away the riffraff. I'm the Ard of Markarth. Leovic, the last Longhouse Emperor, was my cousin. I inherited the throne by blood. Had to keep it by blood, too. You ask more questions than my third wife. Leovic's clan, my clan, squabbled over the scraps after Varen murdered my cousin. Pretty soon, they came to take my city. So I bound their ankles and tossed them all to the rocks, head first. All that were left, aye, and the word is executed, not murdered. An Ard offers food, freedom, and protection with his right hand. With his left, he promises cruelty and punishment. Those that covet the right get the left. Simple as that. No, that story's far worse. And no, I won't be telling it this day.
I've been watching, but Lady Boleyn hasn't returned to Understone Keep yet. I wonder how the Ard plans to deal with her. Speaking of Ard Kadok, will he meet with me now? Will he help us stop Rada al-Saron and the Grey Host? Well, that's some progress, at least, and farther than I was able to get on my own. Thank you. I'll talk to Kadok, then I'd like to make contact with Orana. We'll need the rebels' help and more if we're going to defeat the Grey Host. Your investigations uncovered that Ard Kadok's advisor, Lady Boleyn, is working with the Grey Host. and that she's a vampire. To hide that from me takes great power. Tell me exactly what you heard during Rada al-Saran's conversation with her. With your warning, Ard Kadok can decide what to do with Lady Belane's advice in the future. As to why they care that Reach folk gather within the city, I'll need to think about that. Did you hear anything else of significance during their exchange? Rodder tried to use dwarven devices once, but nothing came of it. Interesting. As I toured the city, I met Nolavan. He works with dwarven scrap in the southeast section of Markarth. Maybe he can lead us to this keystone before Lady Belane acquires it. Despite occupying the ruins of their lost civilization, few Reach folk want anything to do with dwarven devices. That's why Nolavan intrigued me. While you deal with him, I'll seek out Arana's rebels. If I can't find them, they will surely notice me. And so I shall, briefly. Kadok has a city full of Reach folk to deal with, so I don't want to unduly distract him. Then I need to locate Arana. If we can get the rebels to work with us against the Grey Host, we'll have more than a fighting chance.
The Ard seems to trust you.
I'm not sure who you are, but you seem to have the Ard's ear.
Well?
Aye, you're an outsider. I guess when the Ard made us put up those scratchings he calls signs, it really worked. Attracted you right to my business. Unfortunately, we're closed right now. Come back later, and bring your gold. Artzan. Sounds dwarven. Came to see me. No one in Markarth knows more about the deep folk and their scrap than old Nolavan. Now, keystones. That's another matter. Could refer to a wedge that supports an arch, maybe? Well, that is the other kind. You might be able to find one in Batharzel. I could sell you a map to the place, but it won't be cheap. Or if you do a simple job for me, I'll give you the map as payment. Quick work that would help me a great deal. Aye, more than cover it. Here's your map, leads right to Batharzel, I guarantee it. You might need to do a little searching to find the entrance, but that map will get you close. Now, please, I have so much work to do before I can open the shop.
Hey you, Verandis has need of you. Verandis said he sent you to talk to the scrap dealer, and here you are. Good to see you, by the way. Anyway, Verandis needs to talk to you. Right away, he said. So let's go. He did. Here, let me mark a location on your map. That's Rebel's Retreat, what Arana and her people call their camp in the foothills. Verandis wants you to meet him there. You should move quickly. Verandis has a way with words. High elf vampire noble from High Rock. Any and all of which can get you killed in the Reach. Funny you should mention that. Oh, he went out into the foothills all right. But before Verandis could find them, the rebels found him. Seems to be working out, at least for the moment. What's to tell? It's a Reach folk camp in the foothills. Probably the main base for the rebels, but I'm just guessing. I was with Verandis when the rebels surrounded us. I wanted to fight, but the Count held me back. That's when Arana appeared. Hang on, let me think. The camp's set up inside an old Nord ruin. It's surprisingly sturdy for something that was abandoned a long time ago. The rebels seem to be running low on supplies. Food, weapons, armor. Well, her and Verandis did most of the talking. I'm not sure I trust the witch, but I trust Verandis. He says she's a friend. That's good enough for me. You should move quickly. Funny you should mention. Well enough, I suppose. Thanks for asking. Adusa drags her tail a bit every now and then. Still fighting off the worst of Aseni's experiments, I think. But so far, no turning into a blood knight, so, you know, success.
What do you want?
What do you want?
Ah, Arana. Here comes my associate now.
Aye, that one I know. Very well, Verandis. I'll speak to them.
I take it you received my message from Gwendis. Good. I could use your help. I've made some progress getting through to Arana, but she isn't completely ready to fully trust a vampire. She seems to like you, however. Talk to her, if you would.
Arana's our king, queen, and clan witch combined, so mind your tongue or I'll cut it out.
I see Verandis' word is good. He said I could treat with you, and here you are. The Count tells me that Lady Belaine and the Grey Host leader, Rada El Saran, seek some powerful relic, the Arcthazand Keystone. Is that correct? Let me see your map. Yes, I know that name. But dwarven mischief riddles the bones of the reach. It could be anywhere. My mother called this place the Hissing Maze. Said it's full of mechanical monsters that guard a trove of silver. 3 marks. 3 places to search. All right. I'll help you in Verandis, but not before the spirits bless our alliance. I want you to undertake a ritual. If the spirits favor you, we'll face the Grey Host together. Positive thoughts, Harrier. Positive thoughts. Participate in the ritual. Then we will see what we will see. Without the blessings of the spirits, 'twould be unseemly for this alliance to go forward. The ritual begins with the preparation. Gather a Briarheart seed, a Hagraven's eye, and a handful of bright river shale. Check to the east, west, and south. Whenever different clans come together in a common purpose, we seek the blessings of the spirits to confirm we're doing the right thing. We will ask the hunter to bind our hearts. If he sees strength in you, we will clasp arms and band together. Need a map for that too, do ya? Like I said, the ritual begins with the preparation. We need 3 things. A Briarheart seed, some bright river shale, and a Hagraven's eye. They grow in the hills to the south. Just remember your gloves. The briar's thorns are sharper than Dagon's razor. Check north and west, along the riverbank. Spirits prowl the area, so proceed with caution. Fairies and spriggans and such. I'd put them to sleep for ya, but That would be cheating. In a Hagraven's head, of course. Or from a jar. They remove their own eyes to use in rituals, too. There's a coven to the east of here. Nothing but a flock of toad-licking root hoarders, stealing all the best herbs. Namira take the lot of them. You want to know about old Elkai, the wolf charmer, the lord of the hunt? You probably know him as Hircine. We can call on your gods too if you prefer. Care to wager who answers first? We'll hear from one of Hircine's pups, at least. Or get a hint from a fox spirit or a bloody stag. You're not refusing the ritual, are you? Good. Nice to see you thin bloods aren't all hair-bladder cowards after all. Many, but not all. We have enclaves throughout these hills. But these aren't my warriors, Harrier. For now, aye. But these warriors take no oaths, swear no fealty. They serve their clan, the Reach, and the courage painted on their hearts. No one and nothing else. They'll wander back into the hills to fight their own battles, old and new. These troubles with the Grey Host have torn clans to pieces. Set sons against fathers, chiefs against wise women. It'll take seasons to stitch the Ridge back together. No, they're not. Let's talk about something else, all right?
You heard Arana. We need to perform that ritual. Gather the components and return as quick as you can.
This sounds like some sort of summoning ritual. Interesting. An alliance with Arana and her rebels is essential. We will need to add their strength to ours to defeat the Grey Host, so do as she asks.
Unnatural witch storms. Nothing but Reach stories, mark my words.
I don't think we're the first to camp here. Lots of fresh tracks.
Get some rest. The gods will watch over us.
I knew Estlin might prickle at the idea of the hand-fasting, but to go through all of this only to accomplish nothing? Foolish! And I've lost face in front of both the Chief of Chiefs and Vatisran Bath.
I'm bound to follow my chief, so I followed when he left. But, I keep thinking of the Vatisran story. I wonder why the elders won't share it with the rest of the clan.
Well, we tried. The feud won't end today, but at least I'm not being leashed into a marriage and Modern won't have to break his word. This is not a failure, only a setback. Modern and I will spread the tale to our clans. I swear it.
My son has brought shame to our clan. Had the Chief of Chiefs not been watching, that would have ended quite differently.
I don't think I entirely understand what just happened.
I'm sorry for my father, Outsider. He's too stubborn to listen. But he won't be chief forever. Just because we didn't end the feud today doesn't mean we won't end it in the future. Estlin and I made a connection today. That's no small thing.
The Harrier returns, swift as a crow on the wing. I have prepared the ritual fire. Did you bring the components I requested? Well done, Harrier. Now, once we undertake this ritual, we will be bound by blood and spirit. It's a union stronger than stone and more eternal than the stars. Are you ready for such a commitment? Good. So am I. Let's hope the spirits feel the same way. Place the components in the fire and stand back. No matter what you see or hear, stand your ground and think about our alliance. Keep that purpose in your mind. Understand? Heed our call, Hunt King. Two great packs seek the same full moon. Make them one, bound by common prey. Let Rach and Raven drink of the same dark blood. Howl your blessing, mighty Hircine. Send a sign and guide our hunt. Look, Hircine paints our quarry in smoke and stars. Our pact has been blessed, Harrier.
Between the Raven Watcher's expertise and Aroda's knowledge of the Reach, we have a fighting chance against the Grey Host. Just stay mindful. Even sealed by a Daedric ritual, this alliance remains young and fragile. We must nurture it. Yes, Bethar Zel. I overheard while you were speaking to Arana. We discussed finding it while you were gathering the ritual components. Locating the keystone is your next priority. Arana indicated that she wanted to accompany you. Gwendis brought news from Markarth. Lady Belaine has departed the city, and she intends to give chase. I will assist her in the hope that pursuing Belaine might turn up something useful. Just don't let that keystone fall into Rada al-Saran's hands.
Well, that was a pretty display. Say what you will about Hircine, but he's definitely got an eye for spectacle.
Oh, first we're fighting vampires. Now we're working with them? I trust Arana, but I hope she interpreted the signs correctly.
The ritual was a success. Our union has been blessed by Hircine himself. I'm not certain what the spirits showed us, but I'll figure it out eventually. I always do. Are you ready to search for the keystone now, Harrier? I think I know where to begin. Aye, Harrier. We're bound together now. And how else will you find anything in those forsaken depths? I think the skytail we saw in the fire, the snake, will point the way. Once I figure out how it connects to all this, that is. That's what we call the shapes in the stars. Constellations is your word, I think. Some of my sisters can read the stars the way you read a book. See the future, learn the truth in every twinkle. I don't have the knack. It's fire and bones for me. We made a pact, and Hircine blessed it. He put us on the scent, and I plan to track it to the end. Besides, without someone who knows the Reach, the map's useless. You know what monsters hate? Silver. According to the stories, Bethar Zel is full of it. I need to speak to Tayfern before I set out. Go on, Harrier. I'll find you on the trail. So the legends say. A treasure trove of the pure metal. Enough to arm my warriors with weapons to slay every vampire and werewolf that marches with the Grey Host. And your keystone too, with any luck. No, but rich folk don't make a habit of poking around in the deep places of the world. The Hells are dangerous enough. Still, Bethar Zel's legend tells of silver and other wondrous treasures. Wouldn't surprise me to find your keystone there. We'll find something, that's for certain. In the Reach, treasure can mean all sorts of things. A plump cave bear is a treasure to a hungry clan. But as for silver, you won't find a better metal for killing vampires and werewolves. It means what it means. We're tied to each other now. What happens to one, happens to both. Thin-bloods make alliances with ink and parchment. We do it with fire, and oath, and spirit signs. I think you can guess which practice is stronger. Then they'd better lace their foot coverings tight, because they'll find no pace in the wild. Every wolf, hawk, and red-eyed stag heeds the Hunt King's call. You see? Rich teeth. Your Ravenwatch friends better not forget that. Something to do with stars, I expect. How that might lead us to the entrance to a dwarven ruin, I've no idea. I think better out there among the rocks and trees, though. We'll see what we see and sort it along the way.
Hercene speed your hunt, Harrier. Just keep Arana safe. If you take that responsibility lightly, you'll not only answer to me, but to all the free clans.
Keep Arana safe, my friend. Without her, I'm not sure the rebels will honor our new agreement.
Find that keystone. I don't know what it's for, but if Rada al-Saran wants it, then we need to make sure to keep it away from him. Verandis and I will catch up with you after we track down Lady Belain.
Look, Harrier. A plaque. Let's examine it. That's a skytail. We call it the Hunter, but I think you would refer to it as the Thief. We find these from time to time. We think they're dwarven. Skytails etched into metal. Pretty, isn't it? Aye, but in and of itself, I'm not sure what it's trying to tell us. Let's keep looking, alright? These plaques are as old as these hills, Harrier. Take a look. That's the Witch in the Stars, or the Mage, as you call it. Skytails. The Witch is one of the guardians that protects the lesser stars. I don't know. Not yet. Could have something to do with the Guardians. Maybe. Let's go to another location on the map. We think the dwarves placed these plaques, but no one really knows. See what that one says. That depicts the sky tail of the headsman. I think your people call it the warrior. I knew it would come to me, eventually. The ritual, the plaques, the map. It finally makes some sense now. You missed it too. What a pair we make. What did Hircine show us? He revealed the snake, which I thought was just a substitute for our prey. But the sky tails on the plaques, the witch, the headsman, and the hunter, they're the Wraith Guardians. Look at your map. See how the marks form the shape of the snake in the stars? And see how one mark is missing? If I place it here, we see the snake in its entirety. That's where we need to go. As for the Wraith Guardians, well, we'll see. Storytellers say the dwarves knew the stars better than anyone. Strange passion for people who lived underground, eh? Anyway, let's get to this final location. The snake in the stars is the corruptor, the enemy. If permitted, it would consume the lesser stars without hesitation. Luckily, the Guardians, the headsman, the witch, and the hunter, stand strong and defend the lesser stars. The witch shines her light on covens that protect the rich from outsiders and others who mean to do rich folk harm. Her good eye sees through everything, rock, water, and flesh, to find the hard truths. And when she speaks, she never lies. He carries an axe, doesn't he? The headsman stands for swift ends and payment in kind. He delivers justice and punishment in equal measure. The hunter is the wiliest of the sky tales, clever as an old fox and swift as a young one. She watches the snake in the stars, finding it no matter where it slithers. She teaches us to keep our feet quiet and our keels as silent as the night. Aye, this must be the spot. Just look at all this dwarf craft. The entrance to Batharsel must be around here somewhere. Always a trick with dwarves, though. Look at these pillars. More sky tails. Turn those stones in the right order, and I think we'll find our door.
This looks
Tom's
promising.
dwarves, am I right?
Indeed.
Ugh.
A dwarven lock of some kind, I suspect.
Tom's dwarves, am I right? Devices aren't natural, what with all the gears and cogs and everything. Ugh. I try not to think too hard about dwarf mischief. But I do have a notion. We found 3 skytails in the hills, right? Guardians they were. Your warrior, thief, and mage. I think we need their help to catch our prey. I've no mind to rush you, Harrier. But if you want to snatch up this keystone, you might want to hop to it.
As soon as we lost Lady Belaine's trail, we decided to instead pick up yours. And I see you've had some success. If the entrance to Batharsel is here, I'm certain we can find it.
Damn that Lady Belaine. She slipped away like a snake through a crack in the wall. Ah well, we'll catch her soon enough. Right now you should be working on getting us into Batharsel. Go on. Find the door.
That looks right to me. You hear that? Well done. did something, Harrier. That did it! Wait. Something's not right. A darkness.
Arana, are you alright?
An ominous turn. Come, my friend. Let's talk.
Let me be, Harrier. I just need to get my thoughts sorted.
I hope Arana's alright. It's like something attacked her at the moment you opened the door.
The door opened, but something happened to Arana. She mentioned something about a darkness. We should check on her, but we also need to determine that the keystone we seek is here. No, that she has a sensitivity that I do not possess. Most powerful witches do. Let's hope she recovers quickly. It is said that mechanical horrors guard the depths of Bethar's Zell. No matter what, we must find the keystone. Mind the shadows, and be on your guard. In addition to the mechanical traps and defenders, we know that Lady Belaine is also seeking the keystone. Lady Belaine has had more time to research the Arthzand keystone than we did. She may have already known about his location and the hidden door, or she may have known a different way to get inside. Then again, she may be looking somewhere else entirely. I certainly hope not. Between the Dwarven scrap dealer and Arana's ritual, everything seems to point to this location. I only mean that Lady Belaine may be operating off of a totally different set of suppositions. Dwarven keystones not only provide access to forbidden or otherwise sealed areas, they also tend to radiate ancient magic. The uses for such a relic are potentially limitless. I won't be able to determine more until I see the keystone itself. I certainly hope not. Between the Dwarvens... Gwendis and I can cover more ground on our own. Let's find the keystone.
I hate places such as this. No bird song, no fragrant breeze, and not a whisper in creek to be heard. Just dead stone and stale air. Let's find the keystone and get out of here. This is Bethar's Zell, eh? Mind your feet, Harrier. Every bit of metal in here means to do you harm. Never seen dwarfcraft like this. Must have been chiefs who lived here. Chiefs are grand metalworkers. Namira's blood. They cut the heart out of the ground. It's an entire city under the earth, hiding something worse beneath. I hate places such as this. No go. We're getting close to something, Harrier. Something awful. The tales were true. Silver. I'll send crafters down to carve it out, once we deal with the rest of these metal beasts. hear something. Wailing and scratching at the walls. There's darkness all around.
There. That must be the Artisan Keystone.
What say you, Harrier? Ready to give up your civilized ways and join our Reach clan? I can put in a good word for you. Well struck, Harrier! Now let's get out of here. That was a proper Reach victory. Remember that beating in your chest, Harrier, and the sweat on your brow. No metal beast, big or small, knows what victory feels like. That's how we win. That's how we always win. Come on, let's get out of here. I don't hear any clanking behind us. They think we're clear. Curse that Lady Belain. I thought if we could acquire the Keystone, we could finally get the upper hand. I'm tired of snapping at the heels of the Grey Host. I want to go for the throat. Maybe, but you have to go alone from here, Harrier. There's a fork in the path, and we need to go our separate ways. At least for a while. There's something down here. A darkness. Like leeches in a pond, it takes little bites of my soul. I need to get back to the surface. I need to see the sky, feel the wind on my skin. I'll rally the warriors and start preparing for the fight to come. Protect your heart, Harrier. This darkness will eat at you too, if you let it. Keep an eye on Verandas, Harrier. Rada al-Saran was toying with him. He's got plans for your friend, I think. It's hard to explain. Most witchcraft is. Imagine a boulder. Heavy, solid, huge. Now imagine some grinning bastard lowering it onto your chest. Slowly at first, but it starts to crush you. Little by little, it becomes harder to breathe. Aye. It feels like a wet rag sliding down my throat, choking the life out of me. I'll manage. But you need to stay wary. All of you. Whatever it is, it's like a black pit at the center of a sour fruit. And I don't think it belongs in this world. Dwarf magic is hard to hold. It's so clean, all straight angles, no frayed edges. So natural is what it is. The Keystone might open a door, but more than that, it's eager. It doesn't just want to open, it wants to activate something. I'll send crafters to gather some. We'll fashion it into weapons, arrow tips, coated blades. We have a few metalworkers in the clans. Use what's on hand to survive, same as always. Silver hurts the Grey Host, so we'll work with silver.
Gwendis, think this through.
No. They slipped the noose once. That's not going to happen again.
My friend, I thought I could catch Rada and Lady Belain. Convince him to... Anyway, I'm sorry I failed us. They acquired the keystone and escaped across the river, toward that dwarven structure in the distance. Unlike Gwendis, we can't rush off without a plan. Clear heads will win the day, mark my words. This contest is far from over. With a fresh trail to follow and new allies at our side, victory is closer than ever. And much of that is because of you. This must be Blackreach. I've read the legends, but I never thought it was real. The stories hardly do it justice. Perhaps one day I'll have an opportunity to explore it more fully. For now, we have work to do. Are you still with me, my friend? Ah, the keystone. What is it, and how is it connected to that dwarven structure? Why are they so important to Rada and Lady Belain? Perhaps they seek to harness some sort of dwarven sorcery? Well, regardless, we can't allow them to achieve their goal. Yes, but we need to proceed with caution. We don't know the purpose of the keystone, and we don't know what they plan to do with it. That said, we are not without our own talents. We can overcome any obstacles and find a way forward. We always do. I'll meet you across the river. Together we'll find a way to enter that ruin. Seeing Rada again, it reopened many old wounds. He wasn't always the villain. At least, I like to think he wasn't. Ah, a fool's hope is a dangerous thing. Conflicted. I suppose you could say that. We were friends once, partners, in a great and noble undertaking. And then Rada changed. Maybe it was me. Now, who can say? He betrayed what we believed in, and then he died. Or at least, I thought he did. Without a doubt, Rada's plans, whatever they are, will prove catastrophic to the mortal realm if allowed to proceed unchecked. I hope I can talk to him, appeal to his better half, and make him see reason. If not, I'll do whatever I must to end this. We have the ability to mask our condition from mortals, but it takes a powerful vampire indeed to hide from another one of our kind. As much as I hate to admit it, Belain fooled me. I can tell you this, she's unlike any vampire I've met before. All vampires carry the stain of Molag Bal. It's the inescapable reality of our condition. But Lady Belain, I sensed something else inside her. A vacant darkness. Still, if I can speak to Rada, perhaps we can settle this without bloodshed. I was able to study the keystone, briefly, before Rada and Belain snatched it away. It's a faceted stone, bound by a metal band, obviously of dwarven design. I'm not a Dwemer expert, but the keystone... it could have 1,000 different uses. It shares some similarities with Ayleid Welkin stones, but as far as I know, the Ayleids and dwarves had little to do with each other. That's puzzling. Magic stones often serve as power sources, as well as keys and even weapons. I reached that same conclusion, my friend. Let's get over there and find out, shall we? And if the opportunity presents itself, perhaps I can get Rada to see reason and abandon this destructive course he's set for the Grey Host. I'll meet you outside the ruin, my friend. There you are. We have a problem. This is where Rada and Lady Belain entered the structure, but I can't find any way to open the doors. I suspect this may be why they needed the keystone. Good question. Let's look around. Not all of the ruin remains intact. Portions have crumbled over the ages. Perhaps we can find a path through the rubble. Just be cautious. I've seen both constructs and shadowy creatures prowling this ruin. The constructs are dwarven and expected. The shadows, some sort of beings made of inky darkness. Quite unsettling and potentially dangerous. Something unusual has taken hold of this place. I wish I could say for certain. I've done precious little reading on dwarven ruins. I do seem to recall the name Arkzand being connected to a university. This place does have a sort of academic look to it, don't you think? I've seen nothing dwarven in their manner or appearance. Dwarves were meticulous scholars. Their constructs, their architecture, everything was precise and controlled. These shades are like wild animals. Whatever spawned them may not be dwarven at all. Reach magic strikes me as wild and unpredictable. Arana clearly shares a strong connection with the ebb and flow of the spirits, though. She might have sensed these creatures, but I suspect something else caused her distress. The source of these shadow beings, these shades, I sense a corruption, a void. The longer I'm close to it, the more I suspect it may be the very thing that drew Rada and Lady Belain here in the first place. Stay alert, my friend. I wish I could say for certain. I've done precious little reading on dwarven ruins. I do seem to recall the name Arkzand being connected to a university, a library. This place does have a sort of academic look to it, don't you think? I've seen nothing dwarven in their manner or appearance. Dwarves were meticulous scholars. Their constructs, their architecture, everything was precise and controlled. That door is clearly locked. And that strange energy. Wait. Is there something on the floor? Anything worth... That parchment appears relatively fresh and intact. What does it say? The Library of Arkzand. Interesting. I assume a dwarven library houses more than simply books. Anything else of pertinence written there? A dark relic. That sounds ominous. And quite likely related to the darkness that Arana sensed, and I now feel as well. That could be the source of these shades. Anything else? Void portals. A dark relic resonating power, and strange shades. We can't let any of this fall into Rada and Lady Belain's hands. Let's see what we can find on the other side of this structure. the slow decay of time. Something terrible happened here. That's a strange-looking shard. Another note and a strange shard. What do you think, my friend? Interesting. The shards remind me of something torn from the darkest corner of oblivion. As unsettling as that object is, I think we should hold on to it. Especially if we can use it to navigate the void portals. I suggest you try to use a shard to propel yourself through one of the void portals. The risks are significant, but if we can turn these strange pockets of energy to our advantage, we have to attempt it. Worked! Well done, my friend. Look for the smaller void portals. With any luck, we can use these pockets of energy to access the library. Don't lose your grip on that shard, and try to avoid the larger breaches. We don't want to get pulled into some nether realm. Up there. Try concentrating on that pocket of energy. This is impressive. This place... I had no idea. I knew the dwarves created some magnificent structures, but this is amazing. And look, more of those void portals in the higher portions of this. The only word that comes to mind is cathedral. Until we find the source, I can only speculate. We need to locate it, learn more about this energy, and determine the true nature of these shades. If Radha and Lady Belain can harness this dark energy, I hate to imagine what they could accomplish. The longer I spend in close proximity, the more I pick up from the shades. I sense fragmented thoughts and raw emotion. They remind me of pure rage and unbridled pain. Perhaps exploring the library will yield some answers. Shades. I sense their presence in every dark corner. Keep going. path ends here, but there's a door up above. We need to find a way to reach it. With the path ahead blocked, our only option appears to be the door above us. However, I sense something on the other side. I smell oil. I hear the whine of ancient gears. Proceed with caution, my friend. An excellent idea. You might have to get creative to reach the very top. Danger. But it seems related to this dwarven structure and not the dark energy we're tracking. I doubt it's anything. Just be careful as you traverse the portals. A fall from those heights could prove deadly. Even for you. This appears to be some sort of containment apparatus. And there's a shade trapped at the center. Another sheet of parchment. Bring it here. Might that be another observation by the Grey Host Pentarch? What secrets does it reveal this time? Of course! Despite all the knowledge he gained, he made a mistake. That trapped shade. That's the Grey Host Pentarch. We should attempt to free him, if not out of mercy, then to determine what he knows about the dark energy and its source. Very well. Manipulate the crystals and see if you can set the tortured shade free. Just exercise caution, my friend. I would hate to see you trapped within the apparatus alongside the Grey Host Pentarch. That's it. Keep repositioning the crystals to reflect the energy. That did something. Try to connect the crystals at all four corners of the room. Something is happening. Try activating the remaining two platforms. That did it! Quickly now, question the shade before it dissipates. Such anguish, such pain. Souls trapped in Molag Bol's realm wither over centuries, but this dark heart, it stripped that creature of its vitality almost instantly. I wish it had told us more, and could have been more coherent. Yes, but apparently for different purposes. Unstable breaches in the fabric of reality, imploded chambers, trapped shades. Everything points to some terrible dwarven experiment that went astray. This dark energy is clearly powerful, and dangerous. As the Shade implied, they each seek the Dark Heart for a different reason. Can only imagine what Rodder would do with such power. As for Belain, he called her the vessel that never fills. A curious description. Regardless, we must find them. It must have something to do with the sky above. Perhaps constellations such as those that led us to Bethar Zel. In any event, it's evident that the dark current flowing through this place traps souls and twists them into these shades. Perhaps it does possess life of a sort. Certainly it holds a vast amount of power. Power enough that we can't allow Rada or Lady Belain to get their hands on it. Come, my friend, let's continue our hunt. Watch for signs of the Grey Host that should point us toward Rada and Belain. Stars and spheres, of course. Rada and Belain, we found them. Let's listen in.
The orrery of Arksand. The key to our salvation. It has stood here unmoving for nearly 3,000 years.
You're sure the keystone will power it, Belain? It must be ready when the time comes.
The keystone is only part of the puzzle. As you agreed, we must also awaken the Dark Heart.
I gave you my word, Belain. The Grey Host will make your prophecy come true.
Reach Witch signs and portents can be tiresome, but they are necessary for this. The Dark Heart must beat again.
And it will, Belain. Soon. With the keystone, we can come and go as we please. Now, let us leave this place. We still have much to do before we restart the orrery.
Reach witch prophecies? What fates are you tempting now, Rodda? As we speculated, the keystone does more than open doors. Rodda and Lady Belain plan to use it to restart the orrery. The question remains, why? And what role does this Dark Heart play in their schemes? I'm not sure. We know the Grey Host has Reach witches among its ranks. Perhaps a local coven has some role in all this. We need to speak with Arana. To learn about Reach witch prophecies, we might as well go to an expert. Without the keystone or more of those void portals, we can't get down into the orrery chamber. I'll stay here and try to pick up their trail. I need you to go to Rebel's Retreat and see what you can learn from Arana.
Keep at it! Put that silver we acquired to good use, you lazy goat herders!
I wondered if you were going to return, Harrier. The worms and ghosts wouldn't stop whispering to me, talking about dark doings and stirring evil, but they were deadly silent about you. Did you catch up to Lady Belain? The Dark Heart, you say? There's a tale as old as the Ridge with an evil heart at its center. Like most Ridge stories, it ends bloody. Belain might have slipped your net, but we know what she's on about. Thanks to you, this hunt isn't over yet. The story of the Dark Heart. The Ghost Song clan knows it well. My clan. Once. I need to speak with my sister, Nathari. She studied the old secrets. Knows about prophecies, both ill and fair. If anyone can glean the mind of Lady Belain, it's her. Traditions passed down from our foremothers. Like the story of the prophecy of the Dark Heart. It deals with souls, Shadows. Endings. I know the core of it, but Nathari understands the nuances. Unfortunately, we haven't spoken in a long time. An outsider? Not likely. We need someone to intercede on our behalf. We need Brayden. He's a friend, and he holds the respect of the clan. If he vouches for you, Nathari might talk to you. He often visits Roldan Ring to trade news. Meet me there. Brayden can speak to the mood of the Ghost Song clan. Tell him what you told me. I'm sure he'll help us get a meeting with my sister. He's a werewolf, mind you, but I've never had a truer friend. Look for him at Roldan Ring. I'll meet you there. Roldan Ring is an ancient site southeast of here. It's neutral ground, a place where all clans of the Reach can gather to trade and share stories. Brayden visits the place a lot. He loves to chatter with other clans. Years ago, we argued about what the Spirit Queen's teachings meant for our clan. Nathari believes that we're meant to return to the old ways, the dark ways, to seek Namira's favor. I believe those days are better left behind us. More like the clan left me. My sister turned them against me. As the days grew darker, the Ghost Song Witch has found it easier to see things her way than mine. Regardless, my people will always be my people. The Spirit Queen often speaks to the witches of my clan. My former clan. Oh, we honor all the spirits of the Reach, but the Spirit Queen herself chose our foremothers to be the keepers of dark and powerful secrets. You know her as Namira, and yes, she is a spirit of death. Your soft priests and their stone houses see her as a fearsome spectre, fools that they are. Rich folk know the Spirit Queen as a guide. She watches over us when we take that final journey. And your friend is a vampire. Werewolves are Hircine's chosen. Many of the Reach's greatest champions are skin changers. Brayden and the other werewolves are nothing like those Grey Host Ravagers. They're the clan's loyal protectors. Brayden, what news of the Ghost Song clan?
Your sister led the clan to Lost Valley. I was about to join them. Who's the outsider?
An ally against the Grey Host. I'll let them tell you themselves. I knew we'd find Brayden here at this time of day. Introduce yourself. Talk to him. It won't help if he doesn't get a sense of you and your purpose.
An outsider walking alongside the great and powerful Arana. That's not a sight I thought I'd see today. And she says you're an ally. Tell me, outsider, why do you care what happens to the Reach? An outsider come to fight outsiders. I wish you hadn't brought your war here in the first place. Speaking with Nathari is going to be difficult, even if she would agree to such a meeting. She's taken the clan to Lost Valley Redoubt. That's just what the Reach folk call it. It isn't actually lost. We know exactly where it is. It's a sacred place from a darker time. Nathari said the time had come to return to Lost Valley, promised the clan a great revelation. I'm not sure, but I'm no witch. Some of our rituals aren't meant to be shared with outsiders, I'll tell you that much. Still, if Arana says it's important for you to speak to her sister, I believe her. I'll vouch for you, outsider. As I said, the place is sacred to us. The Nords built a great barrow there, but long before that, Lost Valley was a place dedicated to dark worship. Not all Reach folk practices involve blood and sacrifice, but many of our oldest traditions do. Lost Valley was a centre for such activity once upon a time. Oh, don't worry. You're helping Arana. I won't offer your heart to Namira. Not today. Yes. We grew up together in the Ghost Song clan. I was furious when the clan banished her. I almost followed, but I couldn't. The clan needs my protection, especially now against the Grey Host. As I said,
Lost Valley Redoubt. A revelation. I don't know what Nathari is planning. I don't like the sound of it. We need to see what's going on in Lost Valley. I'll meet you there.
I'm off to Lost Valley. If you want to find your sister, that's where she'll be.
Why Lost Valley, Nathari? What are you planning, my sister?
You've done it now, Melina. What a relief to run into a familiar face out here. Especially after everything that happened to me today. Well, let's keep this between us, all right? I may have botched a mission. My first real mission. Pretty, badly. And I don't know what to do about it. I was meant to stop the Grey Host from recruiting a clan of vampires. I tried to convince them that they'd just be used as pawns, but they all ignored me. My mission failed. How can I explain this to the rest of House Ravenwatch? I told them the truth. The leaders of the Grey Host only want them as fodder. The only vampires the Grey Host cares about are its legions from the First Era. They see everyone else as just a means to an end. But my words must have rung hollow. I hope you're right. I remember Gwendis, Dusadaro, and the others turning up at Castle Ravenwatch after something went wrong. And they still get sent on important tasks. I just have to feel confident that I did everything I could and move on. I need to craft a message to send to some contacts the Ravenwatch has in Alakir. It should catalog information about persons of interest in the Grey Host, which should be right up my alley. Speaking of which, I better get to work on that. I have to think about what to put in this report. What can we learn to stop the next band of vampire recruits from joining up with the Grey Host? Assuming I get another chance. I need to craft a message to send to some contact.
Grey Host scout has been clawed to pieces. Brayden's work, I presume. But why are these monsters here in the first place? Brayden must have gotten here ahead of us. I'd recognize his handiwork anywhere. It seems that the redoubt is overrun with Grey Host troops. We'll need to get past them to reach the old ritual site. The Nords built their barrow over the caves that were once used by my ancestors. The Spirit Queen led the first Ghost Song matron to a spot deep beneath the redoubt. I think that's where Nethari has taken the clan. They haven't. My mother had the entrance to the barrow concealed when I was a young girl. No one has used it since before I was born. I always knew those old stories interested my sister, but I never expected her to lead the clan down there. Nethari is younger than me. Way too sure of herself. When I was the clan's matron, I tried to mentor her, but she follows her own heart. Witches can be a stubborn lot. Only wish she heard others as well as she thinks she hears the Spirit Queen. Doesn't matter what I think, it's what Nethari believes she hears. What she sees in every sign important. From what Brayden said, she thinks it's time to return to the old ways. Blood sacrifice and dark magic. I wanted nothing to do with that. Nethari wanted to be matron, and the clan. They were ready to choose her over me. I wanted to forge new traditions, but she promised them Namira's blessing if they heeded the old ways. Fear and superstition are powerful motivators. A werewolf killed this vampire, and it wasn't one of those Grey Host mongrels. Brayden would have easily beaten us here, and I know his preferred method for delivering a quick kill. I imagine we might see more of his handiwork inside the redoubt.